Hey guys, I'm Michael Lown for TravelCostaRicaNow.com, and this is another in the series of expat interviews we do, and we're going to be talking to Will. We've talked to him before, and we might be talking to him again, and thanks for coming over, Will.
My pleasure.
You know, I think we're going to talk about something I don't think I've ever really seen it chatted about, actually. Maybe written a couple times, but we're talking about people that are going to want to relocate to Costa Rica, and they're kind of looking to maybe get a relationship down here. Coming down here as a single, usually man, but women too.
No, a lot of women.
But come down here and they looking to find a tika or a tico, whatever the case may be. And we're gonna be chatting about that. I just want to make it clear, guys, this is not about prostitution. All right, that's a whole nother video. Matter of fact, we've done that video, but this isn't it. So we're gonna ask Will kind of what he's seen or maybe seen from his friends or some personal whatever. But well, let's hear it. What do you got?
Yeah, well, I mean, first, I need to put this caveat out there right now that, I have not had much dating experience down here in Costa Rica. Actually, closer to the truth to say, I haven't had really any.
So why are we talking to you?
Yeah, because I'm the guy that's sitting in the corner. Well, not sitting in the corner. Actually, I never sit in corners, but certainly watched all this develop. It's really common to meet people, they're saying, well, I want to go and I want to create a whole new life for myself down there. I want to get away from everything that I perceive as being problematic in my life and,
start over.
Yeah, exactly. Whether it's in, the US, Canada, whatever. And they've got this notion, I mentioned this before in another video that we did. We talked about, people having these highly idealized notions about how great it's going to be. And in a lot of cases, they end up setting themselves up for failure. I mean, they don't really have a realistic notion of what they're going to encounter. So there's a few really, really broad things that should be said before drilling down into specifics. One, the tourists, this isn't really about tourists, but, it should be said, women that want to come down here and have a little vacation romance down in Costa Rica, easiest thing in the world. The cultural perspective here, our expectation is that the guys are going to be out tomcatting, and that the girls, when they finish work, they're going to be going home and being good. So unless you're in a major urban area like San Jose or Ciudad Quesada or, some of the places where, it is more oriented towards, expat activities like, for instance, Hako. Sorry.
What do you think about
Hako? We love Hako. Oh, wow. Can't stand it. But anyways, places like that, it's a little bit more egalitarian. It's a little more liberal, but most of the country is still fairly rural, and even in places like where we are right now, La Fortuna, okay, it's a town, it's a lot of conveniences here, a lot of trappings of modernism, but I'm sure you guys have noticed this too. I mean, you just don't see the women out there, playing the field the way that the guys do. So, guys, remember this: if you're coming down here and and hoping that you're going to hook up, you got a better chance of hooking up with another tourist, female tourist. I'm saying, obviously, talking to straight guys
true.
Here. Yeah,
that's true.
So with that out of the way, moving on to the issue of legally binding relationships, and it's I imagine that this doesn't really get talked about a lot in the videos because it's a sticky subject. It's a thorny issue.
Well, it's kind of true that a lot of the women down here, I mean, they do look at a foreigner as, a better way of living, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, down here, one of the things that I've noticed, which I thought was really, really interesting and kind of, it's a bit of a surprise and a bit of a disappointment, actually. It's just the astonishing number of really young, unwed mothers.
That's true.
There's
yeah.
Definitely. I mean, by literally, and when I say young, I'm talking like 15, 16. By the time they're 20, if they're single and they don't have 2 or 3 kids already, it's more the exception than the rule. And so that's one thing, guys. You come down here and you're thinking you want to remarry and maybe start a family or something, or have maybe no more kids or something, but you want to have that kind of a situation. There's as a percentage, young, single, attractive, or just plain, single without children is that's a small group of people. Again, until you start getting into places like San Jose, Ciudad Quesada, etc., and there's a little bit more more accepted. And part of that is just, I mean, it's a religious thing. Again, I don't want to step on anybody's toes
Well, it's
here.
a very Catholic country. They're very traditional, and usually you're either starting a family. That's what most people do. That's their profession. Most girls here are kind of taught to be a wife and a mother.
And kids are going to have sex. Period. That's just what's going to happen. But the priests down here have more power in a lot of cases than elected officials. So these girls don't want to walk into the pharmacy and get a birth control prescription filled, and so there you have it.
So what are some of the things that I don't know, I keep kind of going for the man versus finding a woman down here. It just seems more common to me, but there's a lot of women single coming down here that find men, but some of the more of the issues that they really need to consider, because it could really be life altering if they don't. If you're a gringa, if you're a foreign woman coming down here and looking to have a long-term relationship with a Tico, you have a significant expectation, or should have a significant expectation, of that guy cheating on you. I mean, that's a cultural thing, and I'm probably going to come off as the bad guy for saying it. Maybe that's why other people don't say it very much, but it's true. I mean, the people that women that have come down here and they've met up with somebody, even if they've had that fantastic romance, and even if that was the thing that made them decide that that's it, I'm doing it. I know he loves me, and I love this man, and we've done the long distance thing, and we're doing it, and I've made it, and 2 years later. I'm sorry, you say 6 months? 2 years?
Yeah. I meant to say 2 weeks later. No, I'm kidding. But still, that's a real problem. And then there are issues that are common to both sexes, and the legal issues. You get married down here, and there's a problem. Your spouse goes to the court, and unless you've got residency here, and even if you do have residency here, the court is not going to treat you the same way as they will at Costa Rica. And that's something that you hear about bias in the North American courts. You hear about people, rumors about this. Oh, that judge was racist or something like that. I mean, down here it's flagrant. It's straight up.
Well, women win here.
That's
they're going to get the big money. They're going to win. They can say pretty much anything they want. And the guy's kind of guilty until he can kind of prove otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. It's very much guilty until proven innocent. And so you need to do some things to mitigate that risk. Don't let your local partner move in with you right away. I mean, date, stay apart for a year.
Oh, I would definitely maintain separate residences. Yeah.
And if they start pushing really hard, saying, "Oh no, but I love you," and
there's a reason they're pushing you that hard.
Exactly. If they love you, they're going to understand where you're coming from in light of all these other situations, and they're not going to have a problem. I mean, even if you are spending every night together, you need to have those things separated. And another thing is, you want to put as many of your assets as you can into separate individual corporations. And that, by the way, is just a good business tip as well, because there's some interesting quirks about Costa Rican business law. They can only go after, like, if they're, for example, let's say somebody has an accident on your property, or you hit somebody with your car or something. They can't go after everything that you've got an interest in if it's in other individual corporations. So you'll find even Ticos down here will have a corporation for their car. Another corporation will own their motorcycle if it's a nice motorcycle. Another one will own their house. There'll be another corporation for a bank account. Another corporation controls this other bank account. Wow. And the reason is $250 to set up, and
protects you.
It protects you. So look into that. If you're coming down here and you're thinking you're in love and you're
just be smart in love, come on.
Exactly. And I mean, we've been talking so much about the downside of this. Sucks for single guys to come down here and try and hook up. Everybody's got to be careful and so on. I don't want to come off like the Grinch saying love is
you've already done that.
Done. I've poisoned the well. Nobody's coming to Costa Rica for love anymore. But no, I mean, there are beautiful people here, just like there are everywhere in the world. So this just happens to be some of the particular idiosyncrasies of this area that you got to watch out for.
So I think, guys, the moral of this story is be careful, take your time, don't rush into anything. Keep separate residences. I think that's kind of key. And the corporation thing, obviously, but I can't tell you. We know we could sit here for a couple hours and tell you some really bad stories about how people lost a lot of money. You know, maybe fighting in the courts and trying to get their stuff back, or getting out of jail because.
Yeah, exactly. You know, woman. Well, I almost launched into one of those stories, but
well, I don't want to. I'm just saying, we're going to keep off the stories, but there's plenty of them because that's why we're doing this. Because we know there's a lot of stories. We both have friends, and whose friends have friends, and so we know stuff.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to help you avoid it. So I want to thank Will for talking to him.
My pleasure.
All right, guys. I'm Michael. I'm from TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Guys, peace. Hope it helps.